Tara and Andy's film reviews on OurGamers.co.uk.
Hello, it is time for another film review this week, and it is me, Tara Malik, and...
me, Andy Baines.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this week, guys and girls, we're talking about Blade Runner 2049. This is classified 15. The director is Denis Villeneuve. Starring in this film, you've got Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling, and Armas, but we've got loads more people in this as well. We have genre, mystery, sci-fi, thriller, and the running time was... as you'd expect, really. It's like the first one, it's 2 hours and 44 minutes. It's pretty long. And I managed to squeeze in watching the first one for the very first time in my life, literally a week before I went to go see this.
I was impressed.
And apparently there are loads of different endings, which I didn't know. So Andy was like, which one did you see? And I'm like, I saw this one.
It's not just endings. The first one is about 4 official sort of cuts, I think, and a fan one or something like that. But I think it sounded like you saw a relatively okay one, doesn't it?
I love when you use air quotations because it's rare.
Rare.
But anyway, so this film was pretty long, and I will get in. I'm sure I've got notes on that somewhere in all of this, so I will get to that. But just to give you an idea of what the film is all about, a young Blade Runner's discovery of a long-buried secret leads him to track down former Blade Runner Rick Deckard, who's been missing for 30 years. Well, he does not want to be found, so leave him alone. Get the hint. But yeah, okay, so story script, I guess we should get straight into. And I just wrote not bad, to be honest.
I want to quickly say that your notes are probably a lot more than my notes by the look of it.
Oh, wow.
So you're kind of leading this one.
I just chat loads as usual.
Yeah. It was intriguing, and I was curious.
Yeah. Even straight from the start, that first scene, it was like, whoa, okay, there's something fishy going on here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The one little complaint, I don't know if the film wasn't suspenseful or if things were just dragged out a little bit. The suspense sort of disappeared because they were dragging things out a little bit. I made a note saying not very suspenseful, or maybe it was just a bit slow. We got
I'm sure trying to find where I wrote the note about it, whether it would be... I don't think I have any pace written anywhere.
No.
I don't. But so it is in the story script bit somewhere as well. So, yeah, where is it? This is when you do things out of order, Andy.
It's still story script related.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to go all the way down to the bottom of my notes. Tad slow. There's a lot of chat. Shush. However, it's still a good story and an overall good film, especially I think people who really, really, really loved the first one. Because I think what it was, looking at the trailer, me and my mum as well, we expected it to be quite action-packed and a lot going on. But it was more building that suspense again and dragging out, not even scenes, it's like shots, like it drags them.
Yeah, if you've seen the first one,
under my shots thing?
You know you're going to be getting that sort of thing again with this one. It is very similar in that style to the first.
So, yeah. So it's like, if they would, instead of making a shot of the back of a person's head walking into a room 50 seconds, why not just cut it down to like 10? Because it's long enough. And you can cut out half an hour of this film and it will still be really interesting and intriguing. And it doesn't have to be an action-packed film, but the boredom really kicks in if you're going to drag out every single shot, and that was my problem with it.
I think that's mine as well.
Yeah, but it did do well for the uneasy feeling. Need to keep up a bit at parts, so I do look forward to watching it again at some point when I've got 3 hours of my life to spare. They do like to build up, so as I said, it's the same feeling as with the first, and there wasn't as much action as I expected. Now, for quite a lot of the time, I thought, this is so predictable. I'm getting really annoyed. Like, it's too easy. Just get on with it. Get to the end. I figured the whole thing out already. Think again. That's all I'm going to say. And I was like, literally slapped in the face. I'm like,
I've not heard anyone
I'll behave. I'll sit back and I'll watch.
Even knowing there was a bit of a twist or a bit of a query coming, everyone thought they'd had it.
Yeah. And I was like,
just comes out of the sidelines, you know.
Yeah. So I was really happy that they did that, because otherwise I would have come out even more grumpy thinking they dragged it out and I knew the ending literally 5 minutes into the film.
It is nice having that where it was...
Yeah.
You thought you predicted it.
They played us as dumb, really, because I fell for it. So well done. You won that one. But yeah, it is all about the tension and the build-up and the dragging out and the keeping you waiting and waiting and waiting and guessing and thinking you know it, and then they completely throw you at the end. So it was actually really good. And I was still really curious and intrigued, despite all the lengthiness. So it had that Blade Runner feel. And as I was saying, so if you really love the first and you're used to that sort of thing, you will really enjoy this one as well. I think that's all I've got for story and script. We'll move on. Shots and sets. Atmospheric.
Oh yes.
I mean, I've got more.
For a moment, I thought that was your title.
I've got more, but I thought I'd give you a chance.
I thought atmospheric was in the title for some reason.
Oh,
Shots and sets atmospheric.
You gotta be really careful with that word. So, atmospheric. No, I'm joking.
all the shots they done. Admittedly, we've complained that the shots were a bit long.
Yeah.
And the sets all painted a great image, like the first film, the first world.
Really industrialised.
They pulled it off perfectly.
Urbanised.
Can't complain about that.
Dank. Neon. I love the neon.
Yes.
And
I saw the Atari logo.
Depressing.
I'm pretty sure you looked down to make a note. Yeah. And the Atari logo was like full screen. And I was like, oh, this is the Atari logo. that's gaming related.
About these things. Bless him. Just give him his moment. But yeah, no, they did a very good to get that whole really dank and depressing feel of the world. It was really successfully portrayed and very miserable place. And then having that difference of, you know, those at the top of the food chain and those that live literally in the most rubbish parts of the city. And the thing is, like, obviously in the first film, effects back in the day, the effects were really good for back in the day as well. Quite impressive. But it was very dependent on getting fully into it and like hands-on, whereas nowadays you've got your CGI as a backup and to kind of fill the gaps with that, isn't it?
I did mention that to you with the first film, didn't I, when you were, because you hadn't seen it.
I was so impressed.
And I said really back in the day the special effects were amazing.
Yeah, and they actually were.
They were. There's no doubt. That's one of the reasons why I thought they drew the shots out so much.
Yeah,
that's one of the things they didn't probably need to do in this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
especially
hats
where
off, they did all.
Yeah, I mean the thing is as well, we're talking 30 years later. Is it actually 30 years later in real life as well? I don't know.
Possibly. I think it was around the same time I was born.
Believe so. Anyway, my point is, normally for sort of the generation that we have now, our attention span, I think me included,
Yep.
very, very, very short.
Year I was born, 82.
82, 92, 2002.
35, 36 years
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, my math
How old am I?
Oh, you just gave it away. I guess you
I'm
don't
not
care.
worried.
He's not worried. He doesn't count it anymore. That's the thing. Even I forget how old he is. Do you remember that year I said you're actually this, and you nearly believed me because you always get it wrong, and you're like, hold on, no, I'm actually not that old. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Anyway, my bad. At least I don't forget birthdays. It's still raw. I'm joking.
The first birthday you ever had that I was aware
I know,
of.
It was like ages ago. I know. Anyway, back to shots. Vastness as well. Like these big, vast shots. And the sets look amazing. As before, I'm quite impressed. Obviously, a bit of CGI in this one. Anything else, Andy?
Regarding CGI?
We might as well move on to CGI. Mm-hmm. Good. And interesting effects. Let me just put my teeth back in.
I actually put always good as my first note as well. I've made a bunch of notes, but they were always good. You know, you kind of expect it with a sci-fi film nowadays. Yeah. You know, they've done a good job. You've done what you expect. You're going into Blade Runner sort of situation world. You know what you're going to get a little bit. And they pulled it off.
Yeah. And this is where it was one of those really interesting effects. The two girls as one. Nothing super dodgy. Don't go there. But it's like how they did it. And I was like, oh, I don't think I've seen that before. So I was impressed. I was like, yep, CGI. That's when it's like, you can use it, it's fine, because there's no way in real life you could actually do that, so that's okay.
Yeah, this note actually goes back to the shots and sets a little bit. I made a note saying obviously technology has changed in such a way over the last 30 years, whatever it was, but they've done really well to create the same world with new technology. You know, it can't be easy to do.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, CGI was great. That was really well done, and the bits you mentioned.
Thank you. Music and score is next. Real good. Quite a few people walking out were saying about how good the music was as well.
I think the sound and the music in the film was good. But I don't know if it's down to the cinema. I don't know. I can't remember what screen we were in now. I don't know if it's been upgraded. But in the scenes where you had a crowded street and stuff like that, it honestly sounded like stuff was behind us. And I would have thought someone had a phone on or something, like with something playing behind there. I don't know if the sound's been upgraded or something. I might have to query that, but yeah, this film had really good, great sound, great sound throughout. The surround sound, the effects, you know,
because it genuinely felt like you are in the crowd, and it was various parts of like whatever sounds coming from different corners of the room to make you feel like you were genuinely in a crowd of people, which was so good. And it's such a simple thing.
Yeah, it really was. And I haven't made a note about that in a long time. So they've done well with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
I mean, our Cineworld in Basildon is currently getting completely renovated. Oh, it's amazing. There's like the floor. Some of the floor has already been done, and I'm literally completely in love with the floor. If I could hug it, I will. But I think they would pull me away.
The floor in the welcome area, not the actual screens.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah. You just find me on the steps somewhere, just like hugging the steps. I couldn't make it to my seat.
The seats are nice too, you know.
Great. Actually, the seats are great. The layout, and this is only like literally a couple screens. They're redoing the IMAX one. We've obviously got the 4DX, which was the first one they put in, and now they're redoing all the other old screens. So I am super looking forward to it. They're redoing the foyer bit, all of it. They've just opened up the new counters, so how they've done that with this beautiful mood lighting, which entrances me while I stare at the floor as well. Andy's already like going on about all the screens, how one of them was out of sync. That's an Andy thing, but it's a minor thing that the average person probably wouldn't care about. The thing is with me is every time I want to order something, the screen will change just as I go to point at the thing on the screen.
I want that, and it'll be an advert.
It's gone. I don't know what I wanted anymore. But no, so it's very exciting. So if you are in the local area in Basildon, Essex, do check out, or keep track of it, because at the moment there's a lot of works going on, but do check it out, especially when it's done, hopefully by the end of this year, because it's quite an exciting project.
It really is.
So
they got so much done already.
Yeah, so impressed. But yeah, anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, really good atmospheric. You were saying about the surround sound. I found myself humming at bits. Some bassy music.
I hate people like you in the cinema. I'm joking. I never heard it.
Honestly, couldn't hear me. But I have to say, when it's like the hummy.
Oh, the drone from the vehicles hovering and stuff like that. That sort of sound.
Not necessarily the hovering. It's that atmospheric part of the music that tries to make you feel really like. I don't know how else to describe it.
Brains.
Just like really heavy and dragging you down like that. Sorry. And it's really weird and uncomfortable. But when you have like pretty much 3 hours of it, my head was like, please give me a break from this. I can't handle the sound anymore. But that's just me. My poor ears.
I don't remember you complained about when you come out.
You went to the toilet.
And you were complaining.
I was talking to someone and
okay.
And I told them.
You got it all that system before I came out.
Yeah. So yeah.
Go on then.
And that's all I've got.
Cast.
Really good cast. Great performances.
I was worried when I heard Ryan Gosling was going to be in this. Now I know he's done a lot of stuff. I know him.
La La Land,
I know him from exactly.
What?
I know him from La La Land. I don't know him from a sci-fi action type film with decent plot and crazy.
It looks like, because I briefly looked it up, it looks like he's been in some sort of gangster mob.
Oh yes, he's been in a lot of things.
So he's obviously done different things, but we've not, as with
nothing
you,
I've come across.
I've only known him from La La Land, and it's like this, romantic musical, that sort of film. And here you get into this serious action, sci-fi, weird. What on earth is going on? Yeah, he does great though. I'm really impressed.
Hats off to him.
Really impressed. And emotional, you really feel for him. So I think that's all but overall, great performances all round.
Yeah, I never made any notes about Dave Bautista being in it. So I just thought I'd give a quick nod to him because he was a little bit different to what you'd expect normally. He did play a little bit of a muscly guy, but he had some character to him, so well done to that. I also didn't make any notes about Harrison Ford, but no complaints. I actually liked him. I don't know what to expect of him being in this film because you know from the original he has his character in place. Was he going to play his character like he was more nowadays in his other more recent films? But no, he played it. The character was right. He done that good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jared Leto.
I was going to say he's in this as well.
He's in this. He's pulled off another role perfectly.
I know, another weird, proper weird. If I could use a word right now, but I can't. But oh sorry, to take that off me because I was getting.
You were rustling the paper right next to the mic.
I was getting really
waving your arms
about this, but he likes to push the boundaries and try really different weird characters, and I love that about him. And he just does it. So keep going, keep doing it. So I'm quite happy. Can I have my notes back, please?
Yeah, more than. And also the other main role was Ana de Armas or something like that.
I do apologise if I haven't said it right.
If I said it wrong.
Did I say if I said it right? Apologies if I said it right.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said.
Anyway,
I need a coffee.
Her role couldn't have been an easy one to do.
No.
And she seems to have done it well.
Yeah.
No, I don't know her from anything else. She has been in one or two things, but again,
she looked familiar.
Nothing I've come across. So
yeah. No, overall, exactly. I was really happy with
the
cast.
cast.
Yeah. Randoms. I don't have any.
It was a good Blade Runner sequel.
Yeah.
It was a good sequel, which is a rare thing nowadays. And the fact it was picking up after a film from so long ago, and they managed to do it justice.
Yeah.
I can't complain about it other than some shots were dragged out and stuff. There's
no
real complaints.
Questions, aren't there?
Yes. So there may be another one.
Annoying. Yeah, I hope there's another one. But don't give it another 30 years. I'm not that patient. So.
God, I might not be around.
Oh gosh, don't say that.
I want to say it wasn't special, or memorable, but that's not right because it was memorable. It did have some. It's left some things.
I think the only thing letting it down is just the shot decisions with the length and the pace. Because I think the story itself was interesting enough.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I think it's just to keep your attention on it. I think that's where, and maybe some of the music, it was a bit too much heaviness too often. But yeah, I think if they would cut down a bit with the time span of things, then I think it'd be alright. I know I would knock mine up if that was the case. But I'm not knocking it up right now. So, any other randoms?
Nope.
So, right, yeah, I'm going to give it a 7. I would have given it an 8.
I thought you were going for an 8.
No, I'm giving it a 7.
Me too.
I think it's just because of that, because it really bugged me throughout the whole film, because I noticed it early on, and then it's like I have 2 hours just noticing shots where I keep thinking, you could cut that down. You genuinely could. And I'm counting it, how long it is. And it's obviously a style choice that they've gone with. But me personally, I just don't think it was a good idea to do that. Do it for some shots, because then they stand out more as being more effective. If you've got going to elongate certain shots, it's more effective that way because it's certain shots. But if you're going to do it for a lot of shots, like a majority of them, then it's not special and it's not going to work, and it's going to unnecessarily lengthen the film. So that's why.
Agreed.
So, not bad. Nothing overly special. Well, yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it?
It is. I'd recommend it, but I'd warn people a little bit.
Yeah, I think the pace is just the issue. I think that's pretty much it. The rate it has gotten, it is high. It's 8.5.
It's good to see it getting good scores.
So, maybe people are just putting that aside with the whole pace thing, because that's the thing. It's hard. It's really hard to rate this one, because it is a good film. It's a good sequel. I think it is just the pace.
I'd like to see if they release a version where you've got two different versions, or you've got like a short version. See if it has the same effect. Maybe it won't.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Oh well.
Okie dokie. Well, on that note, I think that's pretty much it for this week's film review. Thanks again for listening, and hopefully see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to Cineworld Festival Leisure Park Basildon for the best experience around.